Yes, we are live. How's it going, guys? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jarebeard. Today's date is Sunday, August 4th, 2024. Usually joining me off camera is my dad and Amy. Amy is asleep. Actually, right now she's napping. Dad had to take care of some business. He had to run out, he had to step out. I don't know if he's going to be here at all anytime during the Sunday video update, but if he decides to show up, he'll come waltzing through that door. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. Um, my week was lethargic, actually. Um, I think it's the heat because when it gets really hot outside, I have no energy or enthusiasm to want to do anything, go anywhere. I would just rather sleep. And um, yeah, I gotta move these out of the way. These are the boxes that my security cameras came in, and I didn't realize they were in my camera shot there, so I do apologize for that. Um, it's just all kinds of distractions. There's too much junk up here. But anyway, when it gets hot outside, I just don't want to do anything. I'm just lethargic and I'm not enthusiastic, and there's just so much to do that I have no energy to get up and do. And I'm moody and ornery. And it's like, just leave me alone. I'm tired. I'm just not feeling it. And, when I check my Facebook and it's the same old every day in and day out. People bragging about their kids and how they fall in love and how they're in love with this guy and this guy's in love with that woman. And I just, there comes a point where instead of me making it a point to utilize a Facebook post just to say, hey, I'm getting sick and tired of this shit. It's the same shit every fucking day. What I do is I put my phone down. I'll see what I want to see or see what I got to see. Then I'll put my phone down. Or if I'm sitting at my computer and typing out a Facebook post, I'll say what I have to say, sign off, and go back to whatever it is I was doing before I sign on to Facebook. And granted, that goes both ways. There are probably lots of people on my Facebook who get sick and tired of the same old posts coming from me, the same old, nothing changes. Well, I like to have lesser things going on in my life because then it provides more time for me to do the things that I actually want to do. I have another channel and I record shout out videos for the other channel, and I enjoy doing it because the other channel has become sort of a shout out central, so to speak. It's taken on a life of its own and it keeps me busy. In fact, I just recorded a few more shout out videos today. Some of them are available on the other channel and the rest of them will start popping up tomorrow, beginning at noon. And speaking of tomorrow, I have a doctor appointment. I have to be in Owasso at 1:30. I have to get a physical done, or so they call it, a physical. Um, it's how I look at it. It's a cancer checkup because it's basically the same thing as every other cancer checkup I've ever fucking had before, and it's all the same procedures. And everybody else is like, well, it's not a cancer checkup. It's actually physical. No, you have not had to go through what I've had to go through a huge chunk of my life. You are not in any position to tell me what is and what isn't a cancer checkup because I have lived through all of that. I've had enough of them to know what the fuck they're going to do before they do it. And I specifically told my dad yesterday that if they plan on doing a CT scan tomorrow, I'm going to get up and walk right out the door. It's adios time. Schoolboy Kai in chat says it's called inflation. My suggestion is stop saying you love your life because clearly you get stressed out of your life from guys who's from Facebook. Well, when have I ever said I love my life? And secondly, doesn't everybody get stressed out from life? That's called life. Oh, not me. Okay. Well, just so we're clear. Welcome to chat, by the way. And I have my other messages from chewing off my toenail. I call them my messages because they're meant for me. So, there's 4 messages from chewing off my toenail. I'll get to those. First one says, yesterday I went to the bank and decided to store my chewed toenails in a safe. Okay. I brought in a plastic baggie full of chewed nails from months of substantial chewing. They're well protected now. That's good to know. Last week, I had a bacon cheeseburger with a toenail in it. Gross. I kept the toenail and threw the sandwich into the trash. That toenail was saved in my bank. Okay. Let's see. Every once in a while, I will use one of my crusty toenails as a spoon to dish out strawberry yogurt. I hope no one's eating strawberry yogurt while watching this because you're going to just be grossed the fuck out. And last but not least, chewing off my toenails says, sometimes when I think about life and stare at the wall, I will start chewing off these toenails. Yeah, speaking of nails, my thumbnail is actually starting to come off. It's almost all the way off. So when I go to my appointment tomorrow, I'm going to have to, I'm going to ask them what they can do for me. I don't know if I should clip what I can of the thumbnail and just leave the remainder, or I don't know what I should do. I'm thinking about just clipping it myself just to get the damn thing off. But thank you, chewing off my toenail. I appreciate the humor. And Schoolboy Kai, I'm talking about the guys you get sick of from Facebook. Well, I gotta go. Have a good day. Okay, so the people I'm talking about from Facebook, and it is the same old every day. And like I said, it kind of goes both ways because I'm sure that those people are sick and tired of reading posts from me where nothing really substantially changes in my life. It's basically the same thing today as it was yesterday. I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife. I don't have a family of my own to support. I think a lot of my friends are getting sick of that because most of my friends actually are in relationships. They have children and they stress about trying to support their families. And my only response to that is no one twisted your arm. That was a choice you made. So yeah, I mean, we all stress in different ways. And it's not for me really to judge. However, if that's the life that you willingly chose, don't whine about it later. You know, that's why I opted out of having kids. It's partly, actually greatly, the reason why I'm single, because I just don't want to put up with that. That's a life that I'm not interested in. The less drama, the less noise, the better. I'm 38 years old. But if I wanted to have kids now, I mean, holy shit. If I wanted children now, I would be 56 by the time my kid graduates high school. And no thanks. How would I look at the the parent teacher conferences? I'm like the oldest guy there, and all the other parents are relatively younger than I am. Nah, I'm good. And a lot of it is that I haven't had a lot of girlfriends, even as a teenager. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I tried to be likable. I tried to be approachable. I tried to be cute or handsome, whatever. And the women weren't interested. The girls weren't interested. So, and yeah, I used to kick myself, and I used to really hate on myself because it's like, what is it about me that's not good enough for these girls? I want to, I want to be loved. I want to be important, just like any other guy out there. But now that I'm older and I've matured quite a bit, I don't give a fuck. I like being single. Single from where I sit, being single is probably one of the better life choices I've made next to not having kids. Because even if it was possible for me to have kids, or even if it was possible that I would fall in love with somebody, it's just not something I want anymore. It's not going to happen for me. And, I'm okay with that. I've learned to be okay with it because, what other choice do I have? What's the alternative? What am I just going to force myself onto somebody? That's not who I am. It's not what I do. Um, Although I was blocked, I used Facebook dating just recently. I mentioned this last week. And I reached out to a couple of girls who I was interested in and said, hey, my name is Jared Fuller. Told them where I was from and all that stuff. And they both blocked me. So really, to me, it makes absolutely no fucking sense. You're going on these dating sites to meet guys. When the guy introduces himself, because I thought men were supposed to make the first move. That's what I thought. That's what I've always been told. When I make the first move, y'all block me. So so then what's the point of you being on that fucking dating site? Well, they don't want me. They want Chad. They want the bad boy. They want Mr. Moneybucks. They want the criminal. They want the drug addict. They want the alcoholic. And I'm none of those things. I don't have a drug problem. I drink only on occasion. I don't drink every day. I'm not a criminal. I'm not rich. I don't think I'm all that handsome, but I'm not rich. I'm far from rich. So that kind of puts me out of the whole relationship dating pool altogether. And I'm fine with that. I like being single. I've learned to enjoy the single life, and I embrace it every day because I see a lot of these people out here. They look like they're fucking miserable, and they put on a happy face and smile, or they go on Facebook and fake their way through life. Oh, I'm so happy. My children, my wife, I have such a beautiful family. I've been blessed. Bullshit, motherfucker. You weren't blessed. You were lucky. You got lucky. I'm so sick of hearing this. Oh, I've been blessed with kids and a wife, and fuck everybody else, right? That's kind of narcissistic for you to say that you've been blessed. Yeah, you've been blessed, and meanwhile, fuck everybody else. That's the message I get. Even if I was in a relationship with someone, I'm not gonna brag. I'm not gonna try to make other women jealous. Oh, look, this is the love of my life. Let me tell you something about this woman. I see women doing this with their husbands and boyfriends all the time. Well, let me tell you about this man of mine. Hey, I don't care. I keep scrolling. It's like, who gives a fuck? I don't care to know about this man that you're with or this man that you love. I don't care. Why is it that when someone dies, we have to keep it hush hush out of respect for the family? But yet, when you're in a relationship with someone, the whole world has to know who you're fucking. Now, don't preach to me about respect if you're okay with sharing with the world who you're fucking every night. But when it really matters, when someone dies, oh, well, let's just keep it quiet until, the family says something out of respect for the family. Oh, please. You know nothing of respect. Give me a break. It's one of those things. It's like, I don't have a right to know who died, whether it be a family or a close friend of mine, family member or close friend of mine. I can't know about that, but I damn sure as hell have to know who you're sleeping with every night. Why? What does it got to do with me? Nothing. But anyway, it's all just a bunch of shit to me. I like being single. And that's about all I wanted to say on that subject. Um, so yesterday, Dad and I went out to Junction of Hope restaurant. Amy went out to Reed Park. It was a friend's birthday yesterday, and they hung out together. They had like a girls' day or whatever out at Reed Park. And Dad says, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat. So we went out to Junction of Hope in Layton Corners, and we sat down. We ate our meal. I was just, I don't know, just tired. I had no energy. I was just bankrupt of any energy at all whatsoever. I get up and walk out, and this little girl sitting in a booth just kind of gives me a dirty look. And I'm thinking to myself, excuse me? But I didn't say anything. I just kept walking. I noticed. And then when I got out to the truck, I told Dad, I said, some little girl just gave me a dirty fucking look. I don't know what that was about. And Dad says, well, maybe it's because you're tall. I said, no, Dad, a dirty look. You don't give someone a dirty look because they're tall. It was something else. I'm sniffing my armpits. It's like, well, I put on deodorant today, so I know it's not that. I don't know. I think it's the result of parents who are just lazy and won't properly raise their children, or they're just spoiled, rotten fucking brats, which I'm leaning more towards the latter. It's not like me to go on a public platform and call a kid a brat, but sometimes a spade is just a spade and a brat is just a fucking brat. And I went on my Facebook yesterday and it's like, what a brat. It's like if my mother saw me doing that to an adult when I was a kid, she would have knocked me into the middle of next week. I wouldn't have ever gotten away with being disrespectful to an adult for any reason whatsoever. You just didn't do that. I'm the last of a generation of people where we were taught you respect your elders. We got spanked all the time when we were kids, and no one batted an eye. No one thought anything of it. Nowadays, you spank your kid, you go to jail for child abuse. I'm not condoning child abuse, but spanking versus beating the fuck out of a kid is different, because you have this new wave or this new generation of parents who they don't believe in spanking their kids. And it's like, well, maybe that's part of the fucking problem. Maybe that's why they act the way they do. Turn them over your fucking knee once in a while and give them the what for. Oh, well, that's spanking is hitting, and I don't believe in hitting my kids and blah, blah, blah. Well, your method doesn't seem to work very fucking well because they're still acting like the little brats they are. So maybe you should do something that's more effective than just sitting them down and talking to them. No, put a hand on their butt and tell them no more. Yes, I'm in favor of spanking kids. Oh my God. Somebody better call the law. I'm in favor of spanking children. It's gone too far with the child abuse situation, Yes, there are children who really and truly are abused. And I'm not making light of that delicate situation. There actually are children in this world who are being abused every day, mentally and physically. But swatting a kid on the butt as a form of punishment or discipline should not be viewed as child abuse. It was never child abuse when I was a kid. In fact, it wasn't even child abuse when my parents were kids. No one thought anything about it. Nowadays, I don't believe in hitting my kids. So if you're not going to correct your kids, you're going to leave it up to the rest of the world to do it for them. We're going to whoop them into shape. You know, there's just a lot of irresponsible, lazy ass parents. And I don't know how the hell I even got on that subject, but I think it all started from, well, actually, yes, I do know how I got on that subject. It's from yesterday's incident with that little girl at Junction of Hope who gave me a dirty look. And it's like, what the hell's that for? What are you looking at me like that for? But I didn't say anything. I just kept walking and trying to be the adult and just walk away from it and don't let the shit get to you. Don't sweat it because you're going to get really upset and then something will be said. But, you know, it's like I wouldn't have ever gotten away with just being disrespectful to an adult. Nowadays, the narrative is, well, I don't have to respect an adult that doesn't respect me. Well, the thing is it's not a democracy. You're a child. You need guidance from a grown adult, someone who actually has been around a little longer than you have, and someone who has life's experience. And when they've learned something, they can then pass it on to their children. There's no such thing as a disciplinarian in the household because the kids cry foul. Well, they took away my iPad and they took away my smartphone and they took away this and took away that, and that's just child abuse. No, the fuck it isn't. Oh, they spanked me on my butt. That's child abuse. No, the fuck it isn't. Abuse is when they're leaving black and blue marks on you, when they're punching you, when they're beating the fuck out of you. That's abuse. When they're calling you names, calling you every name in the book, that's abuse. Swatting you on the butt to get you to stop doing something is not abuse. It's to teach you. Knock it off. Stop. But it's obviously we've shifted into this paradigm of spanking as abuse. And it's like, oh my God, Karen, get a grip, honey. Get a grip. That's why your kids act the way they do, because you're not disciplining them the right way. And truth be told, I know lots of parents I'm friends with, they still spank their kids, which good. They deserve it. Oh, Jared, you think kids deserve to be beaten? They're not being beaten. Spanking is not beating. It's still hitting. Oh, please. Please. Yeah, and that's why this world is so fucked up, because we embrace children way too much. We there's this weird, and George Carlin had this right. There's this weird fetish with kids, this weird obsession, this fetish with kids. It's really strange. We indulge children too much, and so much to the point where they pretty much get away with everything because we can't punish them. If we try to punish them, it's considered a form of abuse. I don't know. This is why I'm glad I never had kids, because my methods of parenting would probably have me put in jail just by spanking, by virtue of swatting them on the butt for not listening or mouthing back, which is something else you never did. You never got away with that when I was growing up. You just didn't get away with doing certain things. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't talk back. You did what you were told, and that was it. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. Those ideas are antiquated. But they could still deem effective. Like I said, I know lots of parents who still use spanking as a technique to teach their children right from wrong. And I'm not going to fault them for that. I don't fault anybody who turns their kid over their knee once in a while and gives them the what for. But anyway, speaking of indulge, I've indulged on that subject a little too long. So let's talk about, let's see, tomorrow. I have an appointment, as I pointed out. I have to be in Owasso at 1:30 at Memorial. I got to be in the Mitchell building behind the hospital, that is. And it's for a physical. That's the name that they call it. But I've had enough cancer checkups in my life to know what a cancer checkup is. And that's going to be something I talk to my doctor about tomorrow if I get to talk to him, which I'm certain I will. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. But I'm going to tell him, look, that was a nice actually, I'm not even going to talk to him about it. I'm going to walk in after all the tests are done. I'm going to say, well, gee, that was a nice cancer checkup. Thanks. I don't mind having labs done. I don't mind ultrasounds or x-rays. But if you're going to order up a CT scan, I'm walking out the door. I'm not going to do CT scans. I'm just not going to do them. And I told him that before. I said, look, I've had bad experiences with a lot of these nurses who couldn't find a vein for the IV. I said, and mind you, I had labs done a day before that, and the phlebotomist at the outpatient clinic found a vein in one needle stick. Why is it that these ladies took them five or six times with a fucking IV to find a vein? Now, come on. If the lady in Chesaning could find a vein in one stick, why can't they do it? I was pissed. Actually, I remember the day I had that done because I felt sick. And like I was going to pass out or throw up or something. I felt sick. And it's like, God, I feel so awful just having that done. And he says, well, doctor says, well, we could give you like a sedation. I said, I'm not having that done. I'm telling you, if you order that, I'm walking out. That's it. No two ways about it. If you order that, I'm going home. I'm telling you, I am not having this done. I told you, and if he brings it up tomorrow, I'm going to tell him the same thing. I told you specifically, I'm not having this done. If you order it up, I walk out. Get me for a no-show, then get me for a no-show. Although I was actually fucking here. I don't actually know how that works. Refusing a test ordered up by a doctor, I don't know how that works, but anything else you want me to do? You want me to do labs and ultrasounds and x-rays? Sure. Not a problem. I'm used to that. But not CT scans. No way. But that's my day for tomorrow. Going to Owasso, getting that done. I don't know if Dad's going with me or not. Probably not. I also left a link to the Sunday Flashback, the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards tonight at 7 o'clock on 103.9 The Fox. You just click on the link and chat, and then you go up to the upper right-hand corner of the website, click on Listen Live, and it'll take you right to the station's live streaming music. Dan Richards is one of my good friends, and I saw him last week, actually, out in Clio, him and his wife, Georgianne. And usually, I'm the first one there in my crowd of friends that shows up. There's me and Kenny and Terry, and then sometimes Phil. There's a guy named Phil who shows up with Terry once in a while. And we usually have the same table. We have our usual spot because we get right up in front, right next to Dan Richards. Then Dan and Georgianne come in. But that's my little circle of friends that I have out at Billy's. It's actually not Billy's anymore. It's the Pine Run Inn. But that's the routine. I saw Dan last week out at the Pine Run Inn, and we talked for a few minutes and talking about music and talking about a flash drive that he stored all his music on. He lost it, but then he said he got another flash drive and he's going to replace the old one. But my thought processes are such that now that he already has this new flash drive, he's going to find the old flash drive that he replaced. And I hope I didn't jinx you, Dan, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. But hey, at least you'll have backup, right? You'll have backup of backup. But there's a lot of music that Dan plays, and I've helped him quite a bit with some songs. And a lot of the stuff you hear during the Fox Sunday Flashback, I've sent him music. I've sent him the songs. He's played music that I've never heard before, and then I add it to my collection. So we help each other out quite a bit. Even out at the Pine Run Inn on Monday nights for the Monday Flashback, he'll play something I've never heard before, and I'll Shazam it on my phone, and it'll identify the name of the song and the artist, and then I come home and download it off YouTube and add it to my collection. So yeah, there's a lot of music that I didn't even know existed, and then Dan plays it and it's like, wow, really? Didn't know that. Never heard of that before. But it's a lot of fun out at the Pine Run, and I might go out there tomorrow night after my appointment, because my appointment's at 1:30, and that's if I'm feeling well after the appointment. Because if they do anything tomorrow that's going to make me feel sick or groggy or, anything like that, I'm just not going out to the Pine Run Inn. But if I'm feeling well after the appointment, which I think I will, then I'll be out there. I also, and I kind of I was contemplating even talking about this, but fuck it, I'm going to bring it up. This person that I blocked a long time ago, who had connections with some problem people like a year ago, they texted me from a new number, and when I block them from that number, they text me from multiple different numbers. I blocked this number, they text me from this number. I blocked that number, they text me from the next number, and so on and so forth. It's harassment, but I'm not going to push the issue. And I'm not going to push the issue of harassment because the thing about that is, when I've been done wrong onto by someone else, and I want to know why they had taken the actions they've taken, I never get an answer. It's always, well, I don't have to describe myself. I don't have to explain myself to you, which is pretty fucking irresponsible for an adult, by the way. But the reason that I'm not going to block, I could on my phone set the settings to where it won't accept texts from numbers that aren't known to the phone or in my contacts, which I have that option. I can block unknown texts across the board. But I'm not going to do that because even when this person texts me from a different number, it's like I want this person to understand why I cut ties with them in the first place, which I thought I made evidently clear prior to the multiple times that they've texted me from multiple numbers. I thought I was clear. And now that this is going out, and now that I've said this, I'll probably get a new text from a different number from this person because they watch my videos. You fucked up. That's why I blocked your ass, and that's why you keep texting me from different numbers. That's it. That's the only answer. And the fact that you continuously text me from different numbers makes me not want to talk to you ever again. It's like you're so desperate to know what's going on in my life. You're a married woman, by the way. What's this obsession that you have with me? You're married and have kids. But you are just resilient in texting me. You are nonstop. Just text after text from different number after different number after different number. And yes, I did say to this woman, it turns me on when you text me from different numbers. And the only reason I said that is to try to get her to stop. But apparently she continues. There's no reason why anybody should be this interested in me or my life. Okay, you want to watch my YouTube channel? You want to watch my videos? Great. I don't have a problem with that. I take no issue to it. In fact, I hope you're subscribed. But as far as direct contact, no more. You fucked up. You are associating, or you did associate with people, whom of which have lied, given me shit before. As long as you're connected with those people, I want nothing to do with you. Oh, I'm not connected with them anymore. I don't know that because I've got them blocked. Pretty much everywhere. I don't know that you're not connected to them. You could still be connected to them and you're trying to butter up to me and weasel up to me to try to get information from me so you can go back and tell them so they can fuck with me some more. And that's just not going to happen. What you see on this channel is what you get, and that's all you get. And I don't even think I should have to be that forward about things going on in my life. It's just a weird obsession. It is a weird obsession. She says, I'm not obsessed with you. Then what the fuck do you call it then? If it's not an obsession, what do you call it? Because you keep texting me from different numbers. I blocked you from like 20 or 30 other fucking numbers and you keep texting me from new numbers. Why? If it's not an obsession, then what do you call it? And by the way, this woman knows that I think she's attractive. She knows that. I told her that. Married or not married, she's an attractive woman. She's got kids. Cool. Doesn't mean I think she's any less attractive. That's a compliment. So, it's really, I don't know what the hell that was. Stupid YouTube notifications. But it's like, why must you insist on continuously contacting me when I blocked you multiple fucking times prior? And you just keep coming back. Okay. Oh, that was someone replied to a comment on a video I commented on. But if it's not an obsession, then I want to know what the fuck you call it, because anybody who's not obsessed with me wouldn't give two fucks about me. They wouldn't keep trying to contact me. In fact, they wouldn't even be looking at my channel. They wouldn't be looking for me on Facebook. They wouldn't be doing these things to try to get in contact with me. And that goes triple for the people that I had problems with before. If my life wasn't so interesting to them, then why would they be obsessed with trying to contact me? I've been asking this question for as long as as that was going on. Luckily, it stopped. It's gone away, and or maybe they just got bored and decided to finally shut the fuck up about it. But there is an obsession, and it's weird. I don't know. I try to be nice to this person. They'll tell you differently, but I tried to be nice to this person, and they were resilient. They wouldn't stop. They kept texting me. And so finally I'd had enough, and I said, you know what? I think you're sexy as hell. I think you're gorgeous. I think you got nice boobs. Yeah, she could get me for sexual harassment, but she won't do that. Because someone who's trying to get a relationship started with me again, they're not going to push me away that easily. Although it's not really sexual harassment. Because if that was the case, her constant texting me from multiple numbers over and over and over and over and over and over again would also constitute as harassment. Not sexual, but it'd be harassment. So we would both be at fault if it came down to that, if we're going to split hairs. But I don't want contact with people who have lied about me, and I don't want contact with people who are friends who have lied about me. I don't want these motherfuckers in my life. My life has been not the greatest. I mean, we're coming up on 10 months since my mom died. And I'm still grieving over that. I'm still having a hard time with that. And the last thing I need to deal with is some idiot being a fuckhead and continuing on with the same old shit all the time, which they haven't since my mom died. Now I'm just out here trying to live my life. If I don't want contact with you, and I've given you an explanation, I'm not being this immature fucking wannabe high school teenager saying, well, I don't have to explain myself. I can elude responsibility for the actions that I take upon somebody else. I'm actually telling you why I blocked you, and you still continuously come at me with text after text after text from multiple different numbers, and it is getting overwhelming to have to repeat myself to you a million fucking times to leave me alone. I blocked your ass for a reason. Go away. Well, a lot's been happening in my life. I don't give a fuck. If a lot's been happening in your life, then I suggest you start your own YouTube channel and you vlog about it. It's not like I'm going to watch your channel. It's not like I'm going to watch your videos. You fucked up when you sided with the person who was running my name into the ground. I have no use for you anymore. I've given you chances and you fucked up both times. No. And I mean, what kind of a psychotic sociopath gets enjoyment out of lying to people about someone they don't like, just to try to, it's like gotcha, because I lied to these people and I convinced them of the lies I told them, so now they're not going to want to talk to you anymore. That doesn't make you a winner. That makes you a fucking flat out liar and a psychopathic sociopath and a narcissist. You're just not someone that anybody should trust. You're not someone that anybody should pay any ounce of attention to. And this is not about the woman. I'm talking about the person or the people that she is associated with. Bunch of liars. And you have to be, I'm guessing, some kind of a psychotropic medication that they're on. I think they're deliberately not taking it, or they didn't take it deliberately for a long time. But it's been nice to not have to talk about them all the time. And it's quieted down quite a bit. It's quieted down. But as far as this woman from, this woman who just, I thought she would have gotten tired of texting me. I really thought she would have gotten tired of it. But no, lo and behold, it was last week. Well, I really want to talk to you and smooth things over. How many times do I have to tell you I'm done with you? This obsession that you have with me is weird. I'm not obsessed with you. Then what the fuck do you call it? Then what do you call it? Do you call it, are you hooked on me? Are you, do I cross your mind when you can't sleep at night, kind of a thing? What do you call it then? I don't know. But I will say, I don't like being treated like shit when I haven't done anything wrong. And when I try to inquire on why people have taken the actions or the decisions they've made, and they just ignore me. It's not mature. It's not adult-like. It's pretty fucking immature. And it's a wonder people like you have kids, because you're going to raise these kids to be bitches that the rest of the world is going to have to straighten up because you were too lazy and irresponsible to do it your fucking self as a parent. So now the rest of the world has to do it. And that's really what it comes down to. And I hold people's feet to the fire on that shit all the time. Don't treat people like shit and then turn around and say, well, I don't owe you an explanation on anything. Yeah, you do. There's accountability involved. You don't just shit on people and think that you can elude the responsibility or the accountability of how you treat people. You can't fucking do that. You can't. If we're going to live in a civilized society, which is what you think you're striving for, which it isn't, by the way, you think you're striving for a society that is civilized, but yet when someone is civilly approaching you and asking you, why are you treating me this way? You want to act childish and immature like a fucking high schooler and say, well, I don't think I have to explain myself. Fuck you. And you are another person who just refuses to grow up. When you want to join the rest of us real adults, then come back and have a talk with me. Otherwise, go back to school. Go back to school. Quit having kids. Do the world a favor and stop infiltrating society with your offspring, because you are fucking terrible as a parent now. When you, even as an adult, not even just a parent, as an adult, when you can't have a civilized conversation. Now, with this person, like I said, with this person, I've explained multiple times over and over and over again, and they just keep coming back like they don't understand English. And ultimately, it's like, you know what? Just leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to you. But anyway, there's a lot happening this week. I got to go to my doctor appointment tomorrow. I might go out to the Pine Run Inn if I'm feeling up to it. And then I don't know what's happening for the rest of the week. I'm not really sure. Let's see. It's tomorrow is the 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know. The Saginaw County Fair. Oh, this is something else I can talk about. Had a little issue with a douchebag on Facebook yesterday. So one of my friends referred to the Saginaw County Fair as the Chesaning County Fair, and I kindly and respectfully pointed out that there is no Chesaning County. Chesaning is in Saginaw County, hence the Saginaw County Fair. And a couple of his minions come on there and said, well, there is no need to correct a man and blah, blah, blah. And you think you got to be right. And then they went as far as calling me a Trump supporter. And it's like, okay, so what the fuck does that have to do with me explaining to someone that it's not the Chesaning County Fair because there is no Chesaning County? What the fuck does Trump have to do? And then they said I was old, which I'm assuming this had to have been like a 15-year-old kid arguing with me on Facebook. And it's like, what are you, 15? Your profile picture, you're holding a baby in your hands. Like, dude, you're not even mature enough to be having a kid, not emotionally mature enough to have a kid, sexually maybe, but not emotionally. And you're coming on Facebook acting like a douche. I'm telling you, this is a problem. This has been an epidemic for ages, where young people who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're not even deserving of the kids they have, just keep having the kids. And they treat people like crap, and they are very immature in how they handle situations. And it's like, you have a little human to raise. Do you want your kid to grow up to be as ignorant as you are? I would sure hope not. Because again, like I said, if the parents aren't going to be parents, then society is going to straighten them up really quick. And it might not be in a nice way. But they said, oh, you got orange hair. No fuck stick. I don't have orange hair. I have bright red hair. Thank you. But then I blocked him. It's like, I'm not going to argue with a child. That's pathetic. I'm better than that, and I got better things to do. But it's this idea that people can't be corrected when they're incorrect about something. And being incorrect about something is an opportunity when you're trying to, when someone tells you, hey, you got this wrong, correct it or try to correct it. That is an opportunity to never be wrong again. That's what that is. When you learn from your mistakes, it's an opportunity to not be wrong again about that thing in the future. People get offended when they are corrected on something. It's like, why would you be offended by that? You should be, we're trying to save you from future embarrassment by calling something what it's actually not. I know it may not be a big deal. It's very menial in terms of greater things you could be incorrect about. But that's just, it's just even the little things. It's like, you have a chance to correct yourself, and we're trying to help you to not make the same mistake in the future, but you're going to gripe and whine and piss and moan about it instead of saying, you know what? I didn't know it was called the Saginaw County Fair, but thank you for telling me. I will correct that. I will correct my post, and I'll remember that for future reference. You should never resist the opportunity to learn something new. Or if you were wrong about something, modify it, correct it. We're human. We are creatures of habit, man. We stick to one way of doing things or believing things or saying things, and we go with what works. But if there's a better or more proper way of saying or doing something, then you should probably just go with that. And don't resist wanting to learn. Be open to learning something every day instead of griping about it and going off on someone that you don't even fucking know, calling them a Trump supporter and just, it's like, am I really arguing with a fucking adolescent right now? An adolescent who brought a baby into the world and probably still living in mommy and daddy's basement, and mommy and daddy's paying for the kid. Am I really arguing with someone like that? Because I can think of 100 things better to do than to sit here and have a back and forth with a child on the internet. It's beyond me. I'm better than that. But we got to be getting pretty close to closing time here. Yeah, we are about 7 minutes out. I'm going to go watch Matt Dillahunty on the line. I think he is on this week. Let's see here. I'm going to check real quick to see if he's on here. Matt Dillahunty and Aaron Ra. Yes, I'm going to go watch them as soon as I wrap this up. Matt Dillahunty is he's an atheist, and he has said a lot of things over the years that made me think about my religious beliefs and made me rethink my positions on things. And a lot of his explanations and things had helped with my deconversion. Although he is very modest and he doesn't like to take credit for things like that. But I give credit where it's due. And Matt Dillahunty really helped to open my eyes to a lot of different ideas. And Aaron Ra is also very well versed in explaining to people and teaching people skepticism and how to think about things. How can you believe something when there's no evidence for it, this, that, and the other? A couple of guys that I admire, and I'm going to go watch them after I'm done with the Sunday video update. And, even as a child, a cancer survivor, I try to get other people in the demographic to kind of think about things. I griped a lot about a lot of people and how they had chosen to do things, but because I view I don't view children as pawns. I don't view children as objects. And I certainly don't use kids to prop myself up to be some kind of a savior. There's still some people out there doing that, by the way. I always view the child as they're going through something that I did. And when I reach out to the families, I do it with utmost respect every single time. Nothing changes, nothing wavers. I am the same person every single time. And when they shut me out, it's kind of a disappointment because, well, we heard this about you, and I don't care what you heard. I don't give a fuck what you heard. And it's sad that I live in a world where people just willy-nilly believe everything they're told without actually looking into things further. And even when I try to teach people the ABCs of evidence and critical thinking and common sense, they're just not equipped to have these conversations. Kenneth Risen is a perfect example. Well, I heard all this about you, and I don't want, if you keep talking about me and my family, there's going to be trouble. Yeah, piss off, Kenny. I can say whatever the fuck I want about anybody I want. And secondly, trying to teach you how to, when you're given information, it doesn't matter if it's about someone or something, when you're given information, I try to teach you or show you. And that goes for everybody, not just Kenny. I don't want to make it sound like I'm picking on Kenny here, but that's for anybody, because I have an understanding of how these things work. Tell me what I know, what you believe. The question is, why do you believe it? What evidence do you have that would suggest to you that what these people are telling you is true and accurate? And I never get a response. And not getting those responses, in my view, says quite a bit about them. It says quite a bit about them who, they believe in things that have not met their burden of proof. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm beating up on Kenny, because I'm not. Although he's got some growing up to do himself, but I want to teach people how to look at things differently. I'm not someone who just one day decided to get involved with childhood cancer awareness. I am a childhood cancer survivor, 35 years strong, and I like to help people and kind of, trip the imagination, kind of show people, hey, look at it from this view once. Like, look at it from this angle. Don't get caught up. Don't get seduced by the popularity and the publicity and all that. Just look at it from this point of view. Just once. Do that for me. Do you see the difference? Because at the end of the day, you got to come back to yourself. You got to deal with you. You got to deal with home. You got to deal with family. You got to deal with the situation at home. Nobody else can do that for you except for you. And I'm going to end the Sunday video update on that note. I've got a couple minutes, actually 1 minute left. Making faces in my camera. I just want for people to be okay. I want for everybody to be all right. That's all. Special thanks to Chewing Off My Toenail. And thank you to Schoolboy Kai for dropping by and leaving some comments. Although he didn't stick around for very long, but I appreciate Kai coming in. I'm going to go watch Matt Dillahunty and Aaron Ra on the line, watching the Sunday show, as they call it. And I've got some more shout out videos I have to record. Well, not from this. That's an old piece of paper. This piece of paper. But anyway, guys, I love you all very much. I will be back next week for another edition of the Sunday video update. And I'll catch you all next week, and I'll have an update on my doctor appointment tomorrow. We'll talk about that. And if Dad's here, we'll probably talk about some other things as well that I'm right sure of. But anyway, guys, I'm out, and I will see you next week. Bye. Speechless. Bye.